Sheena Gibbs should have been easy to find. A name, a face, a life with routines. Threads you can follow. But in this case, the threads don't lead anywhere. They stop. Suddenly. Cleanly. Like they were cut.
And that's what makes it unsettling. It isn't just that Sheena disappeared. It's how everything around her seems to go quiet at the exact moment you'd expect the noise to start. Because when you lay out the timeline, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. There's a gap. And somewhere inside that gap lies the answer.
What's the emergency?
No problem. All units come by 34 with the 149 Hill and John Young Freeway. 1519 East 18.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to Crime Solvers Central. I'm Jace.
And I'm Charlie. In November 2021, Sheena Gibbs, 39 years old, living on Chicago's North Side, plans a trip to see family and help care for her mother. But she doesn't arrive. Then, contact drops off. Phone calls go to voicemail. The timeline gets muddy. There are reported sightings at last known locations in Rogers Park near the intersection of Greenleaf and Sheridan. And later, a reported phone ping much farther north near Winthrop Harbor, close to the Wisconsin state line. And after that, nothing. No confirmed movement, no public resolution, and no clear explanation for where she went or what may have happened.
And if you're thinking, well, maybe she just wanted to disappear for a while, here's what makes that hard to sit with. The reports around this case indicate concern for her safety, and her loved ones have continued to push for answers. When an adult goes missing, it's hard to get movement on the case in what are often the most critical hours. The public doesn't always hear the full behind-the-scenes context, but the pieces we do have point to a disappearance that should not be ignored.
So tonight, we're going to walk through what's known, line up the timeline the best we can, talk about the details that keep coming up across official postings and reporting, and then we'll spend time in the theories section, clearly labeled as theories, because the difference between facts and speculation deeply matters.
And at the end, we'll tell you exactly what you can do to help, who to contact, what kind of tip is useful, and how to share responsibly so that Sheena's name stays active and searchable.
Let's start with the basics. Sheena Louise Gibbs is described as a Black woman, about 5'9" and around 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She was 39 at the time she went missing. Those details matter because they're the kind of facts that help someone recognize a person from a distance, from a memory, from a fleeting moment in public.
And when you look at how people who knew Sheena describe her, she comes across as someone with a real presence, someone who had relationships, routines, plans, not a ghost drifting through the world unnoticed, which is part of what makes it so difficult to accept that her trail could just stop.
There are also public mentions that Sheena had ties outside Illinois, specifically to Iowa, and that she planned to travel to help care for her mother. That point shows up again and again. This disappearance interrupted a plan that mattered.
When disappearances interrupt plans, you have to ask, did something change the plan, or did something, or someone, prevent her from carrying it out?
Local 4 News continues to bring you stories of missing people in our special reports, Vanished QC The Missing. Cook County Crime Stoppers has a $1,000 reward for information that helps find a missing woman from Chicago with ties to the Quad Cities. She's 40-year-old Sheena Gibbs. Gibbs disappeared on November 3rd last year. It was the last day her friends and family spoke with her. She was supposed to drive to Davenport to take care of her mother, but she never made it.
Now let's build the timeline, and I want to be transparent. In this case, different public sources emphasize different dates as last seen versus last contact. This happens a lot in missing persons cases because last seen can mean last physically seen in person, while last contact can mean a text, a call, a message, something that indicates the phone was used or that someone somewhere might have been communicating.
So, we're going to frame it the responsible way. We're going to talk in terms of early November 2021, and we'll call out the points that are described as last confirmed sightings or last known contact.
Multiple public postings place Sheena's last known area in Rogers Park, specifically near West Greenleaf Avenue and North Sheridan Road. That's a key anchor point in this case.
If you know Chicago, you know that intersection area isn't some isolated stretch of nowhere. It's a neighborhood with lots of people, buses, foot traffic, and storefronts, which means, at least in theory, that there should have been opportunities for someone to have seen something.
And here's another important piece that's publicly reported. Sheena was supposed to travel. Reports say she planned to go to the Davenport, Iowa area to help her mother, but she never arrived.
Which brings up a practical question, not as an accusation, not as a leap, just as a real-world point. If someone intends to travel and doesn't arrive, where does that plan break? Does it happen at home before leaving? On the way? After meeting someone? After an unexpected stop?
The situation becomes more complicated when you factor in the reported phone activity. Public listings and write-ups have referenced that the last known contact was a text message in early November, and that at some point there was a reported phone ping up north near Winthrop Harbor, Illinois, close to the Wisconsin border.
And a phone ping is one of those things that people can misunderstand. A ping doesn't automatically mean a person was standing at that exact coordinate like a map pin. It usually means a device connected to a tower in a general area. But even with that limitation, it still matters because it suggests either the phone or something associated with Sheena was active in a location far from Rogers Park.
So now we have two big geographic anchors, Rogers Park in Chicago and Winthrop Harbor up near the state line. That's not a casual walk. That's a distance.
And the question becomes, what's the story between those 2 points?
Sheena's family became concerned when calls started going to voicemail, and she wasn't responding the way she normally would. That's often one of the first concrete something is wrong signs in a missing persons case.
Because families know, friends know, they know the rhythm of someone's communication. So when that rhythm suddenly breaks and stays broken, that isn't nothing to those closest to them.
Now let's talk about what we don't have, because missing persons cases are defined by missing information.
We don't have a publicly confirmed, detailed, minute-by-minute timeline of Sheena's movements. We don't have a confirmed public explanation for why the last known area was Rogers Park. And we don't have public confirmation of what happened after that northern ping, whether it was followed up with more digital activity, whether the device shut off, or whether it was moved again.
And we don't have, at least in widely available official summaries, a public resolution. As of the most recent official postings still accessible, Sheena remains listed as missing.
So, what do we do with a case like this? We look at the pattern of cases where adults vanish in major cities. We look at opportunity points, and we keep our feet planted on what's real.
Which brings us to the theories portion, where we talk about the circumstances that stand out without turning them into claims.
A new mural calling attention to the ongoing search for a missing Chicago woman was unveiled today on the north side.
WGN's Jenna Barnes is live in Rogers Park with that story. Jenna.
Jackie Intiman, Sheena Gibbs was last seen here in Rogers Park late last year. Her family hopes this mural will bring renewed attention to her case. Through song and art, the loved ones of Sheena Gibbs are fighting to find her.
I remember the last words that she said to me is, "I love you, Aunt Nita," and that just rings in my head over and over and over.
40-year-old Gibbs was last seen 6 months ago near Greenleaf and Sheridan in Rogers Park, her neighborhood of more than 2 decades.
Theory 1 is the simplest, and honestly, the one people jump to first. Sheena intended to travel. Something happened during travel, and she never reached her destination. That could include an accident, an unplanned detour, meeting someone, accepting help from someone, or getting into a situation she couldn't safely exit.
Theory 2. The phone and Sheena separated, meaning the northern ping reflects the device moving, but not necessarily Sheena. This happens in cases where a phone is lost, stolen, borrowed, or intentionally discarded somewhere away from the last known area to confuse the timeline.
Theory 3. Someone in Sheena's orbit knows more than they've said. I want to be careful here. We're not accusing any specific person. But in many missing person cases, the crucial break comes from somebody who had contact shortly before the disappearance. Someone who knows what her mindset was, where she said she was going, who she said she was meeting, or what worries she shared privately.
Theory 4 is connected, a relationship or social connection angle. In some missing adult cases, changes in communication patterns can tie back to a new relationship, a conflict, an attempt to start fresh, or a situation where someone was isolating them. That's not unique to any one case. It's just a pattern that investigators and advocates watch for.
Theory 5. Voluntary disappearance. We include it because it exists as a possibility in nearly every adult case. But we also say this: voluntary disappearance typically still leaves traces, a financial footprint, a digital footprint, a person telling someone something, and more importantly, families usually have context that makes that theory more or less plausible. In Sheena's case, the continued public push suggests there's real concern that this was not simply someone walking away.
The tiniest details can lock a timeline into place. And once a timeline locks, the case can move forward. Ask yourself, do any of these theories resonate with you? Let us know in the comments. If you've made it this far, here's what matters most. Sheena Gibbs is still a missing person. Her family still deserves answers. And the public has more power than we think when it comes to keeping a case alive.
Here's how you can help in a real, practical way. If you have direct information, a sighting, a message, a location, a person connected, report it to law enforcement. Do not post it as rumor. Do not hint online. Report it. If you have a tip, but you're unsure, still report it. Investigators decide what's useful. Your job is to pass along what you know as accurately as you can. It's always best to report it and have it be nothing than to not report it and risk not sharing something important. Send tips to Crime Solvers Central as well. If you're more comfortable starting there, or you want to make sure the information is preserved and routed correctly, you can submit what you know to Crime Solvers Central through the channel or website tip options.
Share this video. Keep her case alive. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next video, and turn on notifications for future releases.
If you live in Chicago, especially on the north side, think back. Think about Rogers Park. Think about the intersection near Greenleaf and Sheridan. Think about early November 2021. A lot of people have memories they don't realize are valuable until they're asked the right way.
And if you're outside Chicago, that doesn't mean you can't help. The North Ping area matters too. If you were anywhere near Winthrop Harbor around that time, if you worked a hotel desk, drove delivery, worked retail, worked transit, your memory might be the missing thread. You could be the one to finally deliver closure for her family.
We're going to keep covering Sheena's case and cases like hers until they get the attention they deserve. Keep her name in circulation. Keep the pressure on. Keep hope alive, but pair it with action.
Thank you for being with us today. As always, stay safe, stay curious, and stay loud.